Welcome to Chronic Combat Conversations, a live look at our best bets, picks, and predictions for every UFC event. With your host, TB Scouting MMA, and
the Guru, back again in the lovely Apex Arena for UFC Vegas 105. We've got Josh Emmett taking on Lerone the Miracle Murphy in what should be an absolute banger of a featherweight fight. I mean, we got a sweet co-main. We've got people falling out tonight. We're making fights on the spot, but who cares? Because we've got fights to break down. We've got bets to place, and most importantly, money to make. Very, very special welcome to our wonderful special guest who's secretly been on the pod before, breaking down PFL probably like 3-4 years ago.
I think that was like right after COVID, probably.
Yeah, I mean, that was the very beginning of us doing a show. Mike is a guy that we've got to hang out with in person, watch some UFC fights. Really, really nice guy. Sharp capper. Does all the work for all these different, what do they call those? Regional. He's doing all the regional work out there. He's doing UFC. He's doing LFA. He's doing PFL. I mean, my goodness, if you're not following Couch Warrior over on YouTube, you're just doing yourself a disservice, because, I mean, content after content after content. What is up, dude? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And Dixon, honestly, it's PFL that's going live at the same time as us. So
yes, exactly.
It sounds like it's their personal problem, but you guys hype me up. You know, you guys got that intro music going, and you guys come in, you guys lifting it. I'm hyped now.
Dude, imagine the energy if it wasn't at the Apex, though. The crowd would be going crazy.
This guy, every time, we were talking about it earlier, every time I see a post like that, I'm like, Guru's coming.
It's so funny. Listen, I enjoy fights as often as I can get them, but hey, do I prefer them outside the Apex? I absolutely do.
Hell yeah.
I think it's fair.
Absolutely electric time, no matter what. We are blessed. Once again, what is this, week 9 in a row? We have honestly a pretty awesome main event. I think we've got some other really exciting matchups on the card. I am actually looking forward to this Apex evening, and it even starts at 6 o'clock. How did we get so lucky? So anyways, if you guys haven't done the right thing by this point, I'm definitely sitting here judging you, but there's plenty of time to right your wrongs. So let's throw a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're on the countdown, you know. Listen, we never push our content the most, but we got to get to 1,000 subscribers. Please help us. Let's do the right thing.
You guys don't have 1K yet?
Can you imagine?
No, we're pretty terrible at like pushing ourselves, but
that's yes.
That's kind of surprising. That listen, 5 years we do not miss a single event, and we bring all the big names up there. We bring the Couch Warriors of the world. We bring the Lou Betches of the world on the show. I mean, we get nothing but big name guests that win lots of money.
It's tough.
There's just so much content. I'm telling you, I feel like one of these days it's just gonna, and it'll be well deserved.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes with, hey, we're working hard. We don't charge you guys for our content. You know, unit size might not be the largest out there in the game. It's definitely not the largest unit size for Chronic Combat. But at the end of the day, we enjoy playing every weekend. We don't lose our whole bankroll. We are somehow profitable over time. But yeah, it's pretty close to even. But at the end of it, we've been learning together on air with you guys for the past 5 years. This is when we really broke into the MMA gambling space. And, you know, I think there's been lots of ups and downs, but the best part, it's a great time. And we love doing it. Love having guys like Mike on the show. And yeah, make sure you guys keep following along, because
I mean, there are not many people in the world, I think, that bet 500 units a year and are gonna make money or break even. Yeah. I just really don't think so with that level of exposure.
Also, we track all of our bets together as a conglomerate, so that's another.
I don't know any other show or podcast.
You guys are crazy for that one. I can't imagine what that would be like. I would. Nah, there's no way. I can't believe you guys do that.
We do now have our own for over a year now. So make sure you're following us individually, but only consensus plays end up on Chronic Combat. But still, like it's a process to come together each week and decide what those consensus plays are.
Oh yeah! Shout out to all the guys in the chat making it here. You're right, Daz. We do always have the best guests. welcome to the Couch Warrior. And Dixon, we've already addressed this, but we're going to have better pacing than the PFL. That I can guarantee. Also, Lou, our amazing guest from last week. Hope you're doing well, my brother. I reached out to you separately. But yeah, let's go Cortavius. If you guys haven't watched that interview, absolutely incredible on the previously known as the MMA Engine. You can find it out there. Fantastic stuff. And let's go, Daz. You're right. Let's get this card started. And in fact, we're going from the top down. We've got CCO, Josh Emmett versus the Miracle, Lerone Murphy. It's plus 260 on the Emmett side. Now, CCO, is that like Chief Combat Officer? Is it Chronic Combat Officer?
He can be the Chronic Combat Officer.
He could definitely. But we are big Josh Emmett supporters on this side of things. And Lerone Murphy, hey, he's cashed a ticket or two for us along the way as well. Shout out to that fight against Ricardo Ramos forever ago. Woo, that was a nice one. So, yeah, definitely very interesting. We're seeing Lerone Murphy, the undefeated prospect, coming in here. He's going to have a 3-inch height, 3-inch reach advantage. He's 7 years younger. He's got a positive striking differential per minute at distance. He has what seems to be more of the volume wrestling upside. And the line's at minus 325. So our job here is, it seems like we've priced it appropriately if you're just looking at some of like the tail of the tape metrics. And is there a prop on number of overhands Josh Emmett will throw? Great question. If one lands, though, that could bring down the number by far. Just ask Lerone Murphy in that Dan Ige fight. You see what happens when a perfectly timed overhand right comes through and what can happen. Now, Ige not really able to flurry and find the finish. He's very patient, picking his punches along the fence. Murphy ends up kind of grappling, wrestling, making.
I mean, to me, that was low fight IQ from fucking Ige to follow him to the ground.
Yeah, I agree. And that's where, Josh Emmett, I think if he hurts you, if he connects with the type of punch where Dan Ige does, I don't think it's a question of if he's following him to the ground. It's a question of how badly knocked out is Lerone Murphy. But that's truly the win path, right? That's truly what we expect Josh Emmett to be able to do, because over 5 rounds, he's going to get outpaced if he's not landing the knockout blow. You got an undefeated fighter who's going to be extremely difficult to finish. But Guru, what do you think you're going to end up doing here on this fight?
I think you pretty much nailed it right on the head there. I don't really see too much win equity for Josh Emmett as the fight continues across minutes, per se. Obviously, Josh Emmett is that type of guy that has shown power through all 5 rounds. He's dangerous no matter what. But realistically, other than the Michael Johnson, who loves to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, other than that last minute knockout, he really only gets him in round 1, round 2. So in this fight where he's a plus 260 dog, and Josh Emmett, I just have to be honest, is really one of my favorite fighters of all time. You got to take him round 1, round 2 KO type vibe, or, I won't even get too greedy. I'll go round 1, round 2, round 3 KO grouping. And let me pull up that line really quick. I'm pretty sure it's like plus 700. So, yeah, plus 700 on round 1, round 2, round 3 KO. I think it's super live. I think Lerone Murphy's been rocked before. I think he has somewhat suspect striking defense, right? He is a wrestler. And throughout Josh Emmett's career, he just generally isn't wrestled. He hasn't faced very many wrestlers. The Dan Ige takedown, Dan Ige had hurt him there. So I just don't think that Lerone's going to have success in the wrestling department unless he hurts Josh Emmett. Or Emmett, again, gasses over time, which is going to make those first 10 minutes really fucking dangerous for Lerone Murphy to close the distance. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't love the ring rust from Josh Emmett here. I don't know why he's taken 1.5 years off. That's not ideal. So, right, Bryce Mitchell has already fought, made media headlines, and has another fight booked in that time. So, if you're playing Lerone, it's by decision. He's not going to finish Josh Emmett. I'm very confident in that. Ilya Topuria didn't. He's not. What do you guys think?
Yeah, so, for me, I love Murphy. I've always been super high on Murphy. I always thought he would be something and a possible champ. And now that the division's pretty much open, I think he can be champ. It just depends on how good or washed Volk is still. So, but yeah, I thought I was going to maybe parlay Murphy. I thought about the decision, but there's like a few problems there. Like for the decision, I tend to agree with Guru that he probably won't finish Emmett, but like the Topuria fight with Emmett was 2 years ago. I think something like that, maybe even a little longer. And like he's 40 years old. He's absorbed so much damage. He's taken so many shots to the head. Eventually, it's going to go. It happens to everybody. Eventually, the durability is going to go and he's going to go out. So maybe it's here. And I don't really want to take that risk in a 5-rounder where I know that Murphy could potentially land 200 significant strikes in a 5-rounder. He's done it before against Barbosa. So that's why I chickened out for the decision. And then with the parlay piece, it's just like, he can definitely get knocked out here. Emmett can knock him out. Emmett hits like a train. He can knock him out, I think, in any single round. And I am a little concerned from the Ige fight. You know, I feel like there were a few good things in the Ige fight, a few bad things. Like the good stuff was like better grappling, good fight IQ at the end. But it was also concerning, right? He could have lost that fight because he got dropped in the first, won the second, and then the third is super close. And Ige's on top of him, I think, for what, like 2 minutes. Ige's winning that round. And then Lerone's able to get on top. He gets a little bit of top time himself. And then when they get back up, you see right away he starts spamming stuff because he knows there's really little time left on the clock and he's got to solidify that round. So he hit like 2 knees and then he threw a bunch of combinations and he just landed more than Ige did to make that round, you know, try to steal it, and it worked and he was able to win. So showed good fight IQ, but he also fought pretty damn close with Ige and almost got knocked out. So for those reasons, I ended up passing on any kind of bet on him, but I do think he probably wins and probably by decision.
That is the most likely the Occam's razor of this matchup. And I'll take Guru's little shot. I'd be celebrating if Josh Emmett won by round 1, round 2, round 3 knockout at plus 700. But I think you could probably play Lerone decision or 4-5 decision on the other end of that. So definitely not like my throw down the hammer type of, pick. But yeah, Murphy and by decision. That's where we'll be going. All right, we're moving on. We've got Pat the Saint Sabatini versus Joanderson Tubarão Brito. This is going to be a pretty interesting matchup here. I think pretty binary in how it plays out. Brito is going to be a little bit younger, 4 years. He's got a 2-inch reach. They are the same height. Seems like on the feet, Brito would have the advantage, and it seems like on the mat, Sabatini would have the advantage. So with that being said, Guru, what do you see happening in this one? You gotta unmute my brother. Guru, you gotta unmute. Thank you.
Cool. Very cool. So I've of course you went with to me on this one, right? I mean, I've got what I consider to be maybe an outlandish take, right? Maybe a ballsy take here. I'm going with the dog in Pat Sabatini. I feel like everybody's gut reaction is Pat Sabatini's got no chin. He doesn't have that dog in him, and he's just going to get clobbered. And I just feel like that's somewhat recency bias / like kind of just what sticks out in memory. When you look at how he's lost, yeah, the knockouts were bad to look at, right? When you look at his record, it's 3 round 1 KO losses. The first one is an arm injury in CFFC. The second one is to Damon Jackson. Okay, yeah, not great because that guy doesn't have power. But if you guys remember, Damon Jackson was fighting like after losing his brother a week or 2 before. I mean, it was just fucking crazy. Cracked him good. And the next one, 90 seconds in, Diego Lopez, you know the guy? You probably should. He's fighting for the title next week. Yeah, he's pretty good. So I just feel like, yeah, if you're going to play Joanderson Brito, play him round 1. Go for it. What's the price on that, boys? Like plus 400 or something? Like, I mean, that to me truly is like, and maybe I sound crazy, but that's like Brito's win condition in my mind. And to me, it's also the only way that he's covering this minus 200 price tag because
it's plus 235 on DraftKings.
Not good enough for me to get there. But, I mean, decent enough if you like Brito that's sizable, right? Returning a minus 230 to a plus 230. That's pretty solid. So, at the end of the day, though, I honestly think Pat Sabatini, 60 seconds into this fight, could look at a minus 700. He's gonna run across the cage and shoot a fucking takedown. And if he doesn't get it, he's gonna dig back in for another one. And if he doesn't get that one, they'll circle a bit. He'll throw a couple strikes, and then he's gonna shoot another takedown because he knows where he has to get it. And when you watch Brito's last few fights, when you watch most importantly, the one that sticks out in my head, maybe you guys feel differently, is the Jonathan Pierce fight. Because the Jonathan Pierce fight, he's losing. And Jonathan Pierce, JSP starts talking shit, and he gets fucking ninja choked because he's a cuck. Like, it was hilarious. We've already seen that Pat Sabatini's a better grappler than Jonathan Pierce. I was on Pat Sabatini in that fight as well as an underdog. So I really, really like Pat here. And I feel like this is a fight that we could look at like in a month from now and be like, how was Pat Sabatini a dog? Otherwise, hey, 2 minutes in and he gets dusted. It is what it is, but I can live with that. Now tell me, am I crazy?
What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I like Sabatini also. I like the dog here. It's a relatively popular dog, which is always a little bit concerning, but it is what it is. We all know what's up here. We know that if Sabatini can very well get knocked out in the first 5 minutes, he could probably get knocked out in the second round too. The dude's chin is just not good, and Brito does hit really hard. But I do think Brito's power fades. I think that his takedown defense and his get-ups are good. He's very explosive. But again, that fades as well. And Sabatini's got good cardio. He's got solid wrestling, very, very good jiu-jitsu. Because of the jiu-jitsu, he's got good control. He's very dangerous there, can win minutes, can win moments, threatening submissions, good ground and pound also. We saw that in the Almeida fight. He was beating the crap out of him. Yeah, I just like his game a lot, and I think that he's got more ways to win. I think he's more likely to win a decision. I think he's more likely to get the submission if that happens, and I just trust him later in the fight. I think he's going to be an overall better minute winner, and if he dies, he dies. What can you do? The chin is a problem, 100%, but I like him here.
Yeah, that's a great point. And if you have the favorite and his biggest path to victory is if the other guy dies, he dies, then yeah, I totally get it. If you're really on the favorite, find a prop to play that matches that perspective. But
I just even think to that point, TB, as you say it, when you're on a favorite, a minus 200 and above, I want multiple paths to victory. Right. I've learned to try to stay away from these favorites that need an early finish or something. And otherwise it doesn't really make much sense.
Yeah, no, you make a good point. And I think that's where Sabatini, yeah, we've seen him have troubles from distance. We've each mentioned it. It's just the upside in every other aspect of the fight. Man, how do you not take the shot here at this type of dog money? And we've seen Brito now. He gets wrestled extensively from Pierce. And the one things I'll mention that I don't think really got touched on to this point, Phantom makes a really good point as well with like solid trips along the fence. Yeah, I love that skill set in this matchup against a guy with a power guillotine ninja choke. Like, those are the most dangerous things. And we see JSP continuously leaves his neck on the inside when he shoots single legs. And even guys like C-Rod are dangerously close to landing a guillotine. Sabatini is way more slick at using like debasing the leg, using a body lock. He has multiple ways of getting takedowns, and that's where I think he's going to be able to stay safe and avoid the grappling game of Brito. And he's also position over submission, which I like a lot. He's very good at maintaining his position and not overworking. And he's not like a pace guy, but at the same time, he doesn't have a cardio issue. It's just that he doesn't rush. So where JSP is like trying to do all this stuff and like Guru brings up, like talk all this trash and pass guard and try to land all these crazy things, like that's what allows for explosive get up. Sabatini, he's waiting to see what you're going to do, and he responds to it. So I think that's where if he doesn't find the sub, he's able to safely ride as long as he gets in to the right position at the right time. If not, and he dies on the way, well, then it's just a replay of the Diego fight. So I'll take the chance on the plus 200 in that case. Keep in mind the Diego fight was very close to even money.
And Diego's so much more dangerous on the ground too. Like that's just a tough, really, really tough matchup for Pat. Diego's huge too. Joe Anderson's not as big.
Final thing, this closes out the Guru triangle of sadness. So Brito beats Lopez, Lopez beats Sabatini, Sabatini beats Brito. There you go. Triangle of sadness. Everyone hates each other.
Especially me hating you.
Juicy. Let's go. What's going on? Mushroom, we appreciate you being in the house. It is good times. It would be better times if you guys threw the like,
Much
but
better times.
much better times.
Speaking of good times, brother Michael, are you coming to 316 in Newark? Are we gonna do that?
Probably, because I'm expecting the prices not to be that bad because
Yeah.
I don't know a ton of people super excited about Marab and O'Malley and Pena and Harrison. I love Marab, so I'm actually super hype about that main event, but I'm hoping because most people won't be that we'll get better prices. We'll see, but I'd like to go, yeah.
I'd like to go because I'd imagine that MSG in November is still gonna be fucking untouchable.
I mean,
Yeah.
they tried charging 700 for the nosebleeds for freaking John Jones Stipe.
It was, and again, that fight was great. Listen, it ended up being pretty cool. I mean, Stipe's a fucking punching bag, but it was still a pretty cool fight and how it happened. But the card itself was terrible. I mean,
True.
TB and I we saw Michael Chandler and Gaethje we saw Alex Pereira in the prelims. Like, what do you guys?
When he fought Michailidis, right? I was there also.
Yeah. So we had went 3 years in a row. So and then missed.
Remember when Ian Gary almost got knocked out by Jordan
Williams? Again, we've seen Ian Gary on undercards, and we've seen Chris Curtis on undercards, and you're trying to charge us $800 for nosebleeds for that card, which was terrible. It was a terrible card.
That's the mushroom I know right there. Yeah, the Des Moines card actually looks good. I talked to Guru.
Des Moines is sick. The Des Moines card is
oh shit,
stacked.
It's actually way further than we thought.
It'd be a lot better if it was in the Apex.
All right. Well, are you not entertained? It's Cortavius Romeus versus the Korea Khabib Chang Ho Lee. Holy Chang Ho Lee. This is exciting. Minus 130 versus
Korean
plus 110. I don't know. I was doing my stats, the tail of the tape, and I had Holy Chang Ho Lee, but then someone said something like, "Is this the Korean Khabib?" And I was like, "Actually, that's kind of funny." I tried looking it up. I couldn't find anything, but we're going to use it. I think it's funny. But yeah, the answer is no, he's not, because he gets control for 6 minutes by Zhao Long. So that probably didn't happen to the real Khabib. Anyways, plus 110 on Mr. Romeus, minus 130 on Lee. The over 2.5 at minus 188. That's pretty interesting. I think my takeaways from watching tape on each of these guys earlier, I mean, Lee, it's just pace, ugly, dirtiness, whatever he's got to do, he's going to try, but he's a little noodly. He can be tossed around a little bit, and he can be pushed around a little bit. And Cortavius Romeus, things about him, he has a very nice athletic double leg. He's very powerful. He definitely can get fights to where he wants them early in the round. The question is he too aggressive and too submission over position to have success where he's going to be a consistent minute winner? And that's where I get worried here. But sitting at plus 110, and the Guru will tell you, what he
want to push you around. Well, I will.
Plus 150 on Cortavius Romeus if you were following us on Picket. I will. Yeah, I'll take that.
We were happy. You said he could be pushed around, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Pushed around.
He's a little noodly.
Yeah, honestly, when I was looking at these fights on the Guru's gut reaction, right, with my little look ahead, I'm like, I just expect Cortavius Romeus to be a better athlete. I wasn't sure exactly what the size was, but I figured he's a better athlete. And after watching the Gaston Bolonis fight, I mean, Gaston's fucking awesome. Didn't I take Gaston in that fight, TB? What happened there? I did, right?
Yeah, you ended up taking him small. I stuck on the Romeus side.
Right. So, I really felt like Gaston's striking was really good and that he had made the walk before and that, this was a Dana White Contender Series stunt in the waiting. But now he's fighting a guy that this might as well be on Dana White Contender Series. It's the same type of matchup. It's in the Apex. So again, it's basically a Dana White Contender Series fight. And it's like Pick'em versus this. Obviously, he's much smaller than, but again, I just expect him to be the much better athlete. I think he's got his own decent wrestling. And I don't think that Chang Ho Lee is very comfortable in the striking as much as he loves to march forward. So I just kind of expect Cortavius to be able to win 2 rounds with the wrestling. And sure, maybe he gasses out and loses round 3, but I don't think he'll get finished. and I do expect him to win. Plus 110. Am I interested? No, you're getting much closer to fair. Plus 150. I'm really happy with what we got and playing that. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stick with that. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I'm kind of eyeing the favorite here. I haven't done anything with it yet, but I'm not a Romeus guy. I mean, he's cool. I'm all for him. Like, I'm a fan. But in terms of like gambling on him, I would tend to go against him. I bet on him, I think, when he fought Tavares, and that went horribly because, that's one of the reasons I don't like to bet on him is his fight IQ. He decides, let's stand and bang with Tavares. That's a great idea when I have a major wrestling advantage. And he gets knocked out. And that showed me A, bad fight IQ, B, it's a little chinny maybe, and C, defense is terrible and the striking isn't very good. And then since then, the Imperato fight was completely unimpressive to me. Imperato's not very good.
And he tested positive for was it cocaine or just steroids, Imperato?
No idea.
That was really funny. He definitely tested positive for something.
But yeah, that to me that was an underwhelming performance, and even though he won, it kind of just lowered his stock for me. And then I did bet Bolaños as well, striking advantage. Thought he could keep it on the feet. It was a mess of a fight, and Romeus probably could have won it if he fought a little bit smarter. But I also think his gas tank is a problem, and Lee's just going to be in your face. He's going to be in your face relentlessly. And I know everybody loves to hate on the road to UFC guys, but the guys he fought honestly weren't that bad. I mean, Zawapasi's a good fighter. He's a very good grappler. Maybe not a great fighter, but a really good grappler. And then Long is solid too. Long just had a really good performance his last time out in UFC Macau card. So to me, I feel like Lee's probably fought a similar level of competition, if not even a little bit better. I think that his cardio is way better. I think that he can 100% tire out Romeus here, gas him out. He's not going to be easy to hold down and he probably will get taken down at least early, but I think he'll be able to get back up. He's going to shoot his own takedowns too, and he's going to be the one who's always on the front foot, and Romeus is going to be on the back foot. So you're asking a guy who's not that great of a striker in the best case to do that off his back foot, not get tired, and then also fight smart and mix in his own takedowns. I feel like Lee's going to be a little bit too much, and I think he's going to get it done.
Yeah, I'm most worried about the cardio and the pace, the body shots and the clinch, especially with the height advantage. Like, he's going to be landing squarely if Romeus isn't landing the takedowns. But I have a feeling, and especially watching how he operates in the Bolaños fight, I mean, early in each round, he's aggressively getting in on a double leg. The question is, like, well, what happens after that? And if Chang-Ho Lee is surviving these scrambles, avoiding submission attempts, and able to end up in top position or avoiding any like danger, yeah, I could expect this to get pretty ugly over the course of round 2 and round 3 if Romeus isn't getting more extended control time. So his body triangle, like, he has it in for like 2.5 minutes in round 2 versus Bolaños. Why does he give it up? He looks a little tired, and that's my issue. So if he's not getting the finish and he's not getting it within the first 1.5 rounds, yeah, I'm probably pretty scared at that point.
Well, he gets tired on tape, so I bet you he will get tired. Like, I am fairly confident he will be tired.
So it's a question of what type of exposure you really need. It's great to beat the line, but is it correct? If plus 110 is still not worth it to you at this juncture, that probably says something that maybe plus 150 is not quite worth it either, right? Maybe you need to dig into grandma's couch instead of looking to play the money line.
I mean, that I don't necessarily. I agreed with your first point, and then you kind of started to lose me. I mean, there's a pretty big difference between plus 110 and plus 150. I mean, you're talking about almost 10% equity there.
But are you still confident enough that he's the correct pick when you enter your Tapology?
I think, the only thing I'm going to say is, what do we have? 3 units on Cortavius? Like, I'm definitely down to cut that in half, if not 2/3. But
you guys have 3 units on Romeus here?
Well, what we do is, first off, again, you have to remember our unit is a little bit smaller than the average Bears. It's at $20 a unit. So then what we also have is we have books that'll give us a clean cash out as long as we don't get CLV'd. So I'm
reverse
kind of, well, that's what I meant, reverse CLV. Thank you.
Yeah. So if we project the line on Romeus is going from plus 150 closer to even money, you can lay a 40 and a 20 and be like, oh, well, I can cash out the 40. I could cash out the 20. I could cash out all of it. And you're not going to get a penalty on a book like Bet365, like ESPN Bet, like BetMGM. If you're on Caesars, if you're on DraftKings, you're going to get screwed on trying to cash out. Yeah,
We don't unit shame around here. We really don't. I mean, it's about building a bankroll. TB will I tell the story, man. It all started with 25, 50 and dollar, 50-cent units. 25 cents, 50 cents and $1. Build it up, man. $1 to $2, $5. Now it's 5, 10, and 20. And honestly, more often than not, we have bets that are multiple units. So
yeah, it's definitely an evolution. And I think at the end of the day, it's all about what you're comfortable losing and what you do on your end. And also, just because we're willing to place multiple units on stuff, if you have a larger unit size and you're only generally placing one unit, at the end of the day, we have a pretty similar strategy, So,
exactly.
But yeah, I think we need to consider reducing money line sizing, especially on this fight. It's nice that we got ahead of it, but I don't think
this fight for sure. I agree.
All right. It's Hawaiian Punch, Brad Tavares versus GM3, Gerald Mearshart. Is it juicy red? Is it tropical? What do we got here? That's my real question. Minus 218 on the Tavares side. We got plus 180 for GM3. And you know what, Guru? I'll fully take the reins on this one. Instead of passing it off midway, we've got, this is where I got to bring up the stats because this is where it really stands out to me.
Oh, baby. We went big. It's the
big screen. Big time. Big show. Nate Latshaw, shout out to you for being amazing.
It's the big show.
I meant to say props for using his stuff. Latshaw's got the best stuff.
He's amazing. We appreciate him so much.
TB reached out to him specifically, I think, a couple years ago and just got the Godfather approval of can we please? I'm sure he wouldn't have cared either way, but that was really cool to just have his blessing.
So, all right, because we're about to bring out the striking accuracy over expected. So here's what happened. Yeah, December of 23, I told him, are we allowed to use the tail of the tape for our live podcast? We'll give you credit, and we'll even have you on as a guest in the future if you'd like. We appreciate your work. He goes, yeah, absolutely. Feel free to use any of my figures on your podcast. I'll have to check it out. It's always great to connect with others. This is a great guy. If you really want to ask him questions, he will respond. So that's almost like, have you ever looked at striking efficiency versus expectation? This was
that was in the original DM.
Yes,
2 years ago, and he finally incorporated it now, which is something he said he was going to be looking at.
Yeah, and so I messaged him back on last Tuesday. You did it. Amazing work. And he's a great guy because when you look at the stats here, okay, they're the exact same age down to the 0.3 years of their 37.3. Then Gerald has a 3-inch reach advantage. They're the same exact height. Gerald's the southpaw in this matchup, and he loves throwing them body kicks. Now, they spend similar amounts of time at distance. Not exactly the same, but similar. They have basically the exact same striking differential per minute at distance. They've both been knocked down more times than they knock others down. They both basically, Gerald maybe is a bit more of a head and body hunter, whereas Brad will throw a few more calf kicks. But I got to imagine the Chris Weidman fight also skews that a little bit, and that's the clear game plan there. But these guys have basically the exact same efficiency from distance. And if you were to blindly ask anybody, who's definitely the better striker, you'd probably say Brad Tavares. Well, the numbers and the tape, quite frankly, tell me that Gerald has made incredible improvements on the feet. And I wouldn't actually say he's a negative against Brad Tavares here. Also, you take a look at the grappling and the wrestling stats. They're both not necessarily great when it comes to being controlled by their opponents. But Gerald's the guy that I think has faced the way better wrestlers and grapplers, and that he spends a lot more percentage of his fight time in control position. And to that matter, he's also got the way more dangerous submission grappling, the likes of which the Brad Tavares really hasn't faced consistently in this weight class over his career. There's been a few guys that have the danger, but not really so much recently. I feel like Tavares here, he's slowed down a bit from distance. He's even allowing guys like, Jung Young Park and Rodriguez to double him up on the numbers. And quite frankly, I know those guys are solid and they have good pace and they have good cardio, but if we're expecting Brad Tavares to be a minus 218 favorite, he better be good on the feet. And I don't really think that that's the answer here. We haven't seen him successfully use an offensive wrestling game plan since he landed one takedown against Israel Adesanya, which I mean, that's not really a successful wrestling game plan. He's never really landed more than one takedown in a fight, except against Lorenz Larkin back in 2014 and earlier than that. So I think you could wipe off the table Brad Tavares getting a control decision. So we need him to win the striking battle from distance. And I think they're dead even from distance, quite frankly. Even I think Gerald probably is more dangerous with his power at this point than Brad Tavares is. So when I saw the line was near plus 200, I had to jump in. And this one, I'm going to sit down on a few units and like comfortably because I don't see any place like, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Gerald is as cooked as it gets. Maybe, but I think he's even been switching around camps a little bit, focusing a little bit more on improving his striking. And I think he's got this. I'm heavily invested on the Gerald Mearshart side, and I'm going to stay that way.
Dude, I don't even, I mean, I get you're trying to like talk it back the other way, but no, I mean, if anybody's cooked, it has to be Brad Tavares, not GM3. How would GM3 versus Jung Young Park go? I got GM3 by sub. I don't know about you guys. So I just feel like I'm not really sure what Brad Tavares has left in the tank here. And to your point, TB, if he's not somehow the more efficient striker at volume, why wouldn't you take a guy that's going to be just as efficient on the feet and has a chance to mix it up with some ground game and even get a finish? I don't think he does. Brad Tavares hasn't been subbed in the UFC, but I just think that at plus 200, which is where we got him, I feel that you've got to take your chance there. So is it a chance for Brad Tavares to jab his way to a decision, kickbox his way to a decision? Maybe. I don't know. I just don't love it. You know, he's getting pushed up in the clinch by Jung Young Park. He's going to war. Don't really love it. Taking a lot of damage at this point. And one of Brad Tavares' best traits was his durability. For a long time, he couldn't knock him out. And I remember Edmund Shabazian head kicking him. I actually don't even remember the Tim Boach fight. That's actually pretty funny. But I definitely remember the Whitaker fight. The Shabazian fight, I remember that was pretty wild. And then, you know, Bruno Silva dusting him is really bad. That guy sucks. And it was his only win condition, and he gave it to him. And then Gregory Rodriguez kicked his ass. Like, that was a disaster. So, yeah, I really like the GM3 dog shot here. I think both dog shots we have, guys, both GM3 and Pat Sabatini, are the guys with like more paths to victory. It's like, I love feeling that way on a dog shot, and I feel quite good about them both. Mike, what do you think?
I think a guy just quit on the stool in PFL.
Yeah, he did. That was hilarious.
Why did he quit?
I don't know. That was crazy.
Every time I looked at the fight, they were hugging against the cage. What did he quit?
Oh, no. They were beating the crap out of each other, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was a crazy fight, honestly.
But you took no damage.
He looked terrible pre-fight, though. He looked like he didn't want to be there, quite frankly.
Who, Giannis?
Yeah. I parlayed Kikuiri with Jason Jackson right before the fight started for like 10
What the
minutes.
fuck, man? You didn't even tell me.
Yeah, I left that alone. I left that one alone because I want to fade Kikuiri, but not with him.
Yeah, well, Guru, I also lost $10 live on the guy Kelly the previous fight because he was looking good early and he got knocked down and then sub. So I'm just trying to make that money back. Well, it was live. I just did it. He went to minus 180 until he got knocked down. So oopsies.
I had Kim there, so that was nice. But nice sorry, pick. You had to.
No. Oh, no. It's all good. So, this is just purely the fun aspect.
Feel you. But yeah, so for this fight, I mean, I'm not passionate about it. I know a lot of people on GM3 though, so you guys are in good company, I would say, or rather they're in good company. And I can understand the argument 100%. And maybe I would have been more interested if I had gotten to it when it was like plus 200 or whatever. Is that what you guys got, plus 200?
Yeah. I could tell you, I think it could have been slightly better, but
I don't think so.
So I probably would have been a little bit more interested there. Not that it's far off plus 175, but it's just like
there's just something about 2-1.
Yes, but also realistically, I still kind of think Tavares is going to win. Like, I think the takedown defense is good. I know everybody's now pointing at the Park fight, but like Park takes people down. That's why people have been betting on Park. I'm not even that high on Park. I never bet on him. I think I bet on Tavares there, but he does wrestle and he mixes it well with his striking. So it's not like a crazy thing to me that he did end up taking Tavares down. He did end up almost taking his back in the third, which does bode well for GM3. And I will probably get to a GM3 round 3 sub because you kind of just have to do it whenever he fights. But I kind of lean towards Tavares keeping it on the feet, outstriking him. Yeah, maybe he gets greasy. Tavares doesn't really separate, but he also dropped Park in the first round pretty early. And Mearshart is still chinny. Like, at the end of the day, he's chinny. He has good recovery. I'll give him that. And the people finishing him hit pretty damn hard, so he'll probably be okay. But, you know, I also think he's been looking pretty slow. Like, in the RDR fight on the feet, he was looking very slow. I know it was competitive, but RDR is not much of a striker either. But yeah, I definitely understand why people are playing, why you guys play GM3. I think it's dog or pass even at this line, but I personally didn't have a ton of interest.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. It's purely, you know, I don't think, you know, that there's really many advantages on the Tavares side for where the price is at. But I feel you, though. Definitely.
Yeah, no, it's definitely dog or pass. Like, I don't condone backing Tavares at chalk here when his upside is probably a competitive decision.
Yeah, I mean, although he'd have to catch him, right? Like, I mean, when was the last time Tavares finished somebody? Christoph Chaco. That was actually more recent than I thought, but that's still 2018. And Chaco's so bad.
I'd say the thing about
Chaco beat GM3.
Wait, shut up. Can any of you guys guess his finish before that? Do not look.
What, Tavares has finished before that?
Yes. TB won't even know who this guy is.
Well, who has it?
I'll give you UFC 125.
I mean, that doesn't help that much.
Phil fucking Baroni.
Nice. I do know who that is.
You do?
Did he get arrested for
that's probably why
killing
you know
the prostitute or something?
He got some sort of kidnapping or arrest or something.
not
But he's the
ideal.
New York badass. I mean, he was a huge, profound figure in those early days. Very funny.
What I'll say is we are moving on. We've got
Rob Thomas. You missed it. We already sang your song.
Yeah, we appreciate you, brother. We've got the Jamaican sensation Ode Osborne plus 215 versus Luis Gurule Grimm.
Did you nickname him Grimm?
No, that's his. Unfortunately, he would have been Robert Goulet.
You could have taken Grimm.
Papa,
and Robert.
Papa, like it when you call me Big Papa. Throw your hands in the air if you think you're a player. Minus 265 on the Robert Goulet side.
Robert Goulet.
Plus 215 for the sensation of Jamaican heritage. Yeah. What I'll say is, like,
I feel so bad for people if you haven't seen that Will Ferrell SNL skit and you're just like, is everybody like having a stroke? What's going on?
We definitely are, but yeah. You go educate yourselves real quick. Creme brulee, nice.
That's so good.
Good job, Rem Dog.
That's so good. Comment of the week.
So yeah, the outlook could be grim for Ode Osborne if he's not able to get a round one finish. He does have a 2-inch height advantage and a 9-inch reach advantage. He's going to be 2 years older. He's got way more UFC experience, but with that experience comes 8 total losses in his career, and way too many of them are by finish for me to feel anywhere comfortable on the dog shot here. Like Luis Gurule, like he's not the best like athlete when you're staring at him. He definitely doesn't pass the love handles test. He's not like super exciting from a dynamic perspective, but he's solid at just about everything. He's got crazy scrambles. He's got good cardio. He can throw in combination. He has feints. Like, yeah, I mean, this is a flyweight fight. So, yeah, do I expect Gurule to necessarily find a finish here? I'm not 100% sure on that aspect. I do think he wins, and I think if Ode Osborne is going to win, I mean, he's got to finish a guy that's never even lost in the amateur or on the professional scene. So it's probably Gurule, and it's probably by decision, but I think fight goes. It's plus money. Talk to me. Guru. Is that what we're doing? Yo, where's the Sonic Hedgehog? What's going on?
Brother, man?
And then Aussie.
Good to see you, boys. Honestly, again, I don't know. Call me crazy for betting this in an Ode Osborne fight, but I'm gonna bet the fight goes the distance at plus money. I really feel like Ode Osborne, I guess we'll call it being a quitter, is a bit of an overstated point. I think he's gotten subbed by two very solid jiu-jitsu grapplers in Asuama Bayev and Jeff Filio. And I also feel that he's gotten knocked out by two of the best power punchers in the division or formerly in the division, I should say, in Tyson Nam, and then in Manel Kopp, who's, on his way to a title shot. If he can beat Brandon Royval in International Fight Week, very, very interesting, fun fight. And then you see Guriel, and the guy is not a submission wizard for all of his wrestling that he likes to do. And when you look at his regional tape, he's got plenty of decisions on there, and he's got plenty of KOs that come in later rounds. So I'm just not like, yeah, I guess he could outpace and maybe positionally TKO Ode if he really does quit. But you'd have to imagine that Ode Osborne's going to be fighting for his fucking career. So he's lost 4 in a row. I promise you he's on the roster watch on Tuesday. So I just don't think that he's going to get finished. And I don't really see Guriel as this explosive, incredible finisher. Kind of to TB's point, doesn't really pass the love handle test. So I'm going plus money on a flyweight fight to go the distance. What do you got? What do you think, Mike? Am I onto something here?
I like it too. I like fight goes. I really wanted to. Gurule was going to be one of the parlay legs I used this week pre-tape. I thought he would be. Just because, Ode's hard to trust, bad cardio, Gurule, really good performance on the Contender Series, really good pressure, good training partner with Royval. But then I started taping it, and it's like, to be honest, Ode can win this fight because Gurule's main thing is his striking. Like, I know he does have some wrestling, but he doesn't really use it. And I would say Ode's like first layer takedown defense is actually pretty decent. It's just once he gets tired. But Gurule really isn't much of a wrestler. I think he's primarily a striker. I think he's going to be moving forward, doing the same thing he did in the Piccinini fight without having to worry about takedowns this time. I mean, Ode can shoot, but I doubt he's going to, and I doubt he's going to do it a lot, at least. I think Gurule's going to put him on the back foot, but he's looking to strike, and I think Ode's faster. I think Ode hits harder. I think that Ode has a significant reach advantage here. What is it? It's like 9 inches. Ode's not the best at sticking and moving, but if he can just move laterally a little bit, he could kind of pick apart Gurule here. So those are concerns I have, and that's what. And also Gurule can be hurt. He got dropped by Jacob Silva in their fight on the regionals, so he can be hurt. And it's not like he's this young buck, like he's 30, 31, almost halfway to 32. But yeah, I do think eventually he's going to break Ode. I don't think he'll finish him. I think if he does, it'll be in the third. But when I say break, I just mean he's going to be able to take over and win the later rounds. But honestly, to me, Ode probably wins the first at a pretty high clip. Don't hate maybe like a spread look. The only problem with that is if he gets finished. But I'm picking Gurule to win. I think he gets it done with the pressure.
What the hell? So Marcel just announced right now that this fight is now part of the main card. And
well, it's because Budai has a new opponent, and so they're moving them down.
Oh yeah.
We already knew that. This is already on the main card.
That's where we're at.
Oh my god! Breaking news! Oh my god!
I'm just a little.
Yeah, it's you're doing your best.
A little. Woo.
Yeah, we're live every Thursday, 8:00. The best bets, the best guests, always free picks. Here having a great time, and yeah, if he wrestles proactively, it is his fight to lose. I agree, and that's why I like the over. Yeah, make sure you guys are doing the right thing. If you haven't thrown a like, it's pretty messed up, but we'll accept one now as payment for your sins. So no shame if you fix your bad decisions. All right, we're moving on because if not, we're sending Torres the Punisher Finney after you. Also, if you're hitting the gym consistently and you don't look like Torres Finney, you're probably not doing it right. You should get checked out by your doctor. It's in there somewhere.
Where?
Your traps are part of your neck.
This is part of your neck?
Yeah, like your trap muscles. Origin.
I thought that's part of your shoulders. It's your neck, huh?
Well, it's a combination. They like your traps attached to your neck.
Well, yeah.
And then they go down to your scapula. There's upper, mid, low traps. I mean, those upper traps, man.
The upper dorsimus.
That's it. That's not cleared in the TB School of Anatomy. But then we've got Robzilla plus 245. Robert Valentin, the over 2.5 in this fight at minus 160, under 2.5 at plus 124.
What? I love that under 2.5. That makes no sense.
I actually like Finney and over 1.5.
Are we sure that's right? I think it's I think it's the opposite.
There's no way that it makes no sense.
So I did this earlier. And
it makes no sense.
Yeah, over 2.5 is plus 150. Under is minus 180.
It makes no.
I'd like to apologize.
because it makes no sense. Torres Finney, basically all of his wins have come by round 1, round 2.
It's over. Oh no, I use a template. So this was from like whatever fight was here. It's over 1.5 minus 160 and under 1.5 plus 124 on DraftKings. I should have changed each of those 2s to 1s. So the cough medicine, the Dayquil, something happened where
I wouldn't touch
normal mess ups.
I wouldn't touch a 1.5 on this fight at all.
I like Finney outside of round 1. I don't think it happens early.
Why?
I think that's where Valentin's is most dangerous, and that's where he gives him his best effort. And I think as the fight goes on, Finney pulls away.
No. I think you've already seen a guy in Valentin look really bad versus Ryan Loder. And Finney's a more functional wrestler.
He looked really good early.
But Finney's way better than Ryan Loder. Like the path is the same. It's just going to look worse.
He's more athletic. He's not necessarily bigger or a better grappler.
I think he's a better grappler. You are also
6'2". Loder 6'2", 76.
Look at this fucking guy. He's a bowling ball. It's how you use your weight.
Right, but why so my question for you as you tell me this is like, all right, well, we watched Torres Finney. I mean, this guy goes to decision against Cam Rouston. The Rami fight, that guy didn't belong in the octagon.
What are you saying right now?
I think Finney is not a fast finisher typically. I think it's him in over 4.5 minutes.
That makes no sense. How could he not be a fast finisher typically when he's got 7 of 10 wins inside of 2 rounds? What are you talking about?
I think it gets to round 2 before anything happens, but I will be on the Torres Finney side.
That's certainly possible, but I'd imagine this small cage is not going to lend itself to that.
I think Valentin is his most dangerous and most functional early, and I think he's going to fall off a cliff like he did in the Loder fight. And I think it's going to take till round 2 to get there. I think Valentin, he was smart enough and a good enough tactician where they actually brought him on the coaching staff for Tough. That doesn't mean he can actually put it into practice in the cage. Sometimes you're better at being a coach than a fighter.
Bro,
but I think
Colby Thickenese was a coach on Tough. What are we talking about?
That the guy was a fighter and he was cornering all of his teammates during.
Great. He wasn't focused enough on his own fucking fighting, is what I hear from that.
Right, and I just said sometimes guys are meant more to be the coach than the fighter, but I also think that this is at least getting to round 2.
Why wouldn't you just play Torres Finney round 1, round 2? Like, it's not getting to round 3
because his 3 knockout losses, 1 comes in round 2 and 1 comes in round 3, and his only sub comes in the 3rd round, and then he's lost a decision. So it always takes a while for him to lose by finish. So I think it's Finney in at least 1 round. So Finney in over 4.5 minutes will be what I would do.
Dude, the fact that he gets knee barred in round 3 by a guy that is like nowhere to be found in the universe is not good. I don't trust this at all, and I think
it's all past round 1.
You guys seen this?
Plus 150. Oh yeah, he's getting choked out. Plus 155 for Torres Finney round 1, round 2 is solid. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Wow.
Yeah, Braga's probably gonna tap because he sucks.
Nah, if he finishes,
it's an arm in.
That's crazy, bro. He was plus 450.
No, it's an arm in guillotine. He was fine.
Oh, he's gonna pop his head out. Here comes his head. There it is.
That would have
been Kebab. Yes, they did. Canceled it with a light heavyweight from LFA. Well, we will.
Are we breaking that one down?
Yeah, of course.
Will, like quickly at the end, but yeah,
we did a little tape, not a little bit, not like everything, but a little bit.
All right, so you like Finney super early. I like him
Round
to
not
go a
super
little bit longer.
early. Round 1, round 2, plus
So
155.
That's early. So, Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, this is a really tricky fight and one I'm staying away from probably.
No,
Look,
but gun to your head, you have to pick one of our sides. If you're picking Finney, just be honest. I'm putting you on the spot.
I kind of feel like Valentin might knock him out in the first. I'll be honest with you.
Wow. See, now that would be pretty fun. That would be cool.
And I have been eyeing. It's like plus 1800 on I forget which book, but which I think is crazy. Like I love Finney. But before I talk, dude, Guru, are you like? Did you really say that Finney's a better wrestler than Loader?
That's what I'm saying, bro. Come on.
He's more
That's crazy.
No,
that's
no,
crazy
not like
work.
technique, but I'm thinking just
No, I think you've got some
like explosiveness, yeah. And like what I do think is good for
explosive.
Finney is that at middleweight, he's so small that he doesn't have to change levels. Like when you wrestle or when you're in MMA, you need to set it up with your hands or whatever because you have to change levels and shoot.
Sure.
Finney can just drive. He doesn't have to change levels because he's already at their legs. So that's good for him. And he's explosive and powerful. But dude, the skill, Loader's an NCAA 4-time qualifier, took 7th place. I'm pretty sure he's an All-American.
Yeah, no, he's much better off. And that's
Finney
why
won states twice. So like Finney's a good wrestler, don't get me wrong, but they're also very different. And I would say
you articulated, I think, my point better in just that I think that in the way that Loader exposed him, and to your point of Finney's explosiveness and willing to keep going for it, I think it lends itself to a bad night for Valentine.
That makes sense. Yeah. And Valentin's takedown defense isn't great. He'll be dangerous off his back. He'll threaten subs. I don't really know how you sub Finney. The build is amazing. I love this dude so much. I remember taping him for the Panfarov fight. And I was like, I'm telling you guys, this dude is going to be a huge underdog because he looks kind of funny and he doesn't look that great, but he's explosive. He's athletic and he's going to fight for your money. He ends up opening as a dog, but then that got crushed immediately. I think he closed the favorite. And then since then, everybody's loved Finney. I love him. He fought 3 times on the Contender Series. He got a knockout, a submission, a decision. The dude's clearly got more heart in this fight. He's clearly the more athletic guy. He's clearly got the better cardio. That's not even close. If he survives the first round, he's going to probably win the fight. I think he can finish in the second. I think this could drag out to the third. I thought about like a Finney decision prop or like an over 2.5 to kind of go against the grain a little bit because I don't think Finney's the most dangerous on top. Like, I think Valentin would really have to kind of just stop and give up for Finney to kind of just get him out of there early. I don't think he's that dangerous on top. He did well on the last Contender Series fight, but that guy really couldn't grapple like at all. Valentin's at least a little bit more dangerous than that. So I was thinking about the decision or the overs, but my concern is I just don't know how hard Valentin's going to gas. Like I played the Finney decision against Cam Rouston at like plus 300, but Rouston, he has good cardio. So I wasn't really worried about that. Valentin, I don't know about his cardio and him surviving. So yeah, I'm passing, but I think Finney gets it done.
I mean, I just remember from taping their debuts for the Dana for Tough, right? Like for the championship. And I'm like, I loved Valentin from the show. I thought he was exciting. I thought he was a cool guy. I thought he was interesting, whatever. I'm like, Loader, easily. And my buddy TB was on Valentin, and I was very happy to go head to head with him on that one. But it just in general, like, yeah, I kind of agree with what you're saying there, Mike. And honestly, I could also see TB, maybe to your point, I could definitely see it absolutely sneaking to round 2. But even if it gets to round 3, I just think that Valentin quits. And to Liam's point, yeah, I mean, Valentin did not look good on the bottom. He looked like a spaz. So even the 2-3 KO from Torres Finney plus 450 is quite interesting.
Yeah, I think my Finney money line and over 4.5 minutes minus 130. Round 2, round 3 knockout could be very interesting pricing.
Well, you didn't tell me about that 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, I did, but you were busy yelling at me about how Torres Finney's going to finish him in round 1, round 2. So I said it right away. 4.5 minutes, man. Minus 130.
I don't hate it.
Yeah,
I don't
whatever.
hate it.
All right, we're moving on. We've got Dangerous Davy Grant plus 124 versus Daniel Willie Cat Santos at minus 148. Whew, this one's gonna be a banger. You've got Davy Grant, who doesn't know how to be in a boring fight, versus a shoot to box competitor, which they don't know how to be in a boring fight. Right off the bat, it's like, okay, I see what they're doing here. This is gonna be a fun one. When you really break it down, I think that each guy has a substantial path to victory, and it's all about who you think is going to get off what they want to. Because if this fight takes place from distance, it's absolutely disgusting how inefficient Mr. Santos is from distance. I really don't appreciate what he does there. And he's getting outstruck ridiculously. And he typically will end up using his wrestling and his pace and his cardio to end up coming back over time. I don't think that's so easy in this fight here because Davy Grant's not going to go anywhere. What you can do, though, is if you shoot enough takedowns and you can stay safe in the grappling department, you might be able to get some top control. So I think Santos, that's where he's going to be most dangerous in this fight. And Grant, the way he throws his punches is super unorthodox, and he's got a ton of power. He kicks, he throws strikes to all levels. So it's very difficult to kind of line up where he's coming. Where Santos, he's very much a body and head striker. Grant, tons of calf kicks, tons of body kicks and body strikes, and he'll throw in combination body head, which that's where Jonathan Martinez doesn't see it coming. And even though he should have, he throws the same combo all fight. But yeah, ultimately, Dangerous Davy Grant, we're going to go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we got some CLV here as well, so we'll definitely take that. I mean, the Willie Cat puts on a really fun fight versus John Castaneda, who just gasses out bad, hits him with a solid knee. That was freaking awesome. Beating Johnny Munoz Jr. means basically nothing. I mean, you did your job. And, I mean, it's a decision, so it wasn't really that exciting either. Losing to Julio Arce, I mean, Julio's pretty solid still, even at this stage, and that was a couple years ago. But when you look at the Davy Grant side, I mean, the Marcos fight and the Yanez fight, really, really, really close fights. And Marlon Chito Vera, is a top 5, top 7 guy. So, I mean, is Daniel Willie Cat Santos that level? Is he top 15? Is he top 20? Is he top 25? Not really. So I think that Davy Grant should be able to close the door on him here. But at the same time, I know Davy Grant is starting to get up there in age. Yeah, really get up there in age at 39. So we're really just kind of banking on him to be just as good as he's been. And that's a tough thing to ask. But I do like how active he is. He's coming back after 4 months later. And I took him as a dog versus, I guess it wasn't a dog, it was pick'em. But I feel like we got dog money, but maybe it was just pick'em money versus Ramon Taveras. So yeah, I like Davy Grant here, and I like our CLV. I like plus money. I like the fight going the distance. I generally think that the shoot-a-box clan just doesn't game plan properly or put it all together for 15 minutes. So give me the dog. Are we on the right side here, Mike? What do you think?
I mean, I get it. It was dog or pass for me early on. Now it's starting to get a little interesting. If the line keeps going this way, maybe I'll end up on Santos. I have my concerns. He's been out for a while. It's been, almost 2 years now. I think a year and like 9 months that Santos has been out. So that's a concern. But at the same time, last time he fought, he was 28. Now he's 30. Good chance he's made solid improvements. And I already thought he was pretty good. And I think with Davy, you see from him right now, you see a lot of kicks, a lot of leg kicks, a lot of body kicks, head kicks. He does a really good job with them, and he mixes it up really well, and it's a great weapon. But you need space, and Santos isn't going to give him any space. He's just going to be pressuring forward the entire fight. Maybe if Davy, I mean, that can lead to him getting knocked out because his defense sucks, and Davy does hit really hard. But I could also see Santos hurting Davy. I could see him winning moments that way. I could see him winning minutes by being the guy on the front foot, landing more shots, being more aggressive. I think we could see him mixing some takedowns here. Davy's a little dangerous off his back, but I think Santos is probably the better grappler overall. And I just like him here. I think that Grant also will struggle a little bit with pressure. We have seen him slow down when he's under pressure. I feel like Tavares, that was a winnable fight for Tavares if Tavares actually put Davy Grant on the back foot, but he kind of just stood there with him and just let him do his thing. And Santos isn't going to do that. So I just think it's a little bit of a different dynamic from Davy's last few fights, and I think Santos is going to get it done. But I understand the dog shot, and I thought about it, and I know a lot of people on it.
Yeah, it's certainly seems like a popular idea. We've seen the movement happen a little bit. It still hasn't quite fully flipped to a favorite, and there's certainly, seemingly a path to victory on either side. So I think we see a close fight come Saturday. All right, we've got what I don't think is going to be a close fight come Saturday. We've got the Warrior Princess Diana Belbita versus Dione the Witch Barbosa. They're really trying to confuse whoever's going to be on the commentary team with this fight. But the good news, it shouldn't really be going on for too long. Belbita has been pretty vocal about not continuing her fighting career. She seems to have a lot of other interests outside the cage. And when you're getting submitted by the likes of Molly McCann, it says a lot. So Barbosa, she's going to be the way better athlete. She should have the way better pedigree of just like jiu-jitsu credentials, but also I think she's got more power on the feet. Belbita just puts her head down, tucks her chin, and just throws roller skate combinations, 1-2s going forward into the clinch. I think Barbosa uses that aggressiveness against her, finds a way to the back, finds a way to choke her out. KO seems to be the cute way to approach it this week at like plus 650. Everyone on the inside the distance, the submission, the knockout. Man, wouldn't it be hilarious if it just goes? I don't think so, though. I do think Barbosa finds a way to finish this. But Guru, I don't know. Do you really? I don't think I want to play anything on this fight. What are you going to do?
Let's see. What can I cook up? Well, what about Diane Barbosa round 1, round 2 submission at plus 155? It's pretty terrible, but it is plus money.
Yeah.
If Molly McCann can do it, you can do it too. Come on.
I feel you.
I'm not like rushing to the window. But at the same time, I mean, TB, if you're confident that she's not going to sit there and decision her, then you got to take the round 1, round 2 sub because that's how it doesn't go. So, I mean, she's got 3 submissions, all of them in round 1. So maybe you just go round 1 sub. How many times has Belbita's been sub 5 times? 4 of them are in round 1, run round 2. So sure, fuck it. No, you go full. I actually like that. You go round 1 submission at, let me see here. Round 1 sub is plus, where the fuck am I? Oh, here it is. Plus 310. Thank you. Yeah. Cha-ching. Half a unit. No problem.
Nice. Mike?
So while you guys were talking, I actually had a pretty interesting idea. Here in New York, for same game parlays, they don't let us do like who landed more significant strikes, who landed more takedowns. But so I don't know what this would look like price-wise, and I'm going to have to maybe figure out how I can play this. But I'm thinking something like Diana Belbita, more significant strikes, Barbosa, more strikes, and then some form of Barbosa finish in there. And I feel like that could come out to an interesting price. Because on the feet, Belbita's all volume, no power, all volume. I do think she's actually a better striker at range than Barbosa. And if I could trust her in any way to keep this fight on the feet, I'd be betting her at plus 650. But I can't really trust her to do that. I don't even think her takedown defense is that bad. I just think when she's on the ground, she doesn't know what to do. I think that the trips, the judo throws of Barbosa will work here. It's awkward against lanky people, but I think it will work. And part of me is like, should this fight really be favored to end inside the distance? It's just like a flyweight fight. It just feels wrong that the over's plus money. But at the same time, I don't really want to risk it. Belbita talking about retirement. I'm probably just going to stay away. Maybe like a Barbosa knockout poke. I saw plus 1,000 on Bet Online earlier. Lines come in a lot, but if a domestic book gives me like plus 1,000 on a Barbosa knockout, I could see like a positional TKO ground and pound. Maybe I'll take that, but I'll probably just pass on this fight.
I'd say I'm definitely interested because,
That's
like,
what I'm thinking.
yeah, it could be sketchy. I think round 1, round 2 instead of round 1, round 2 sub. You could probably get enough value on those. If we're in round 3, it's probably not finishing. So I'd like to cut that out.
I mean, Belbita's never been KO'd. It's not. I don't. And
Yeah.
she's never gotten a KO. I'm not doing it.
Never been KO'd on the feet.
Yeah, it's more positional ground and pound. We see Molly nearly knock her out with ground and pound before.
Right, but she's never been ground and pound TKO'd.
Yeah, but I mean, she still ends up in those positions. So if
True.
the price is close enough, why mess around?
Because Barbosa's never had a KO in her career.
Right, but if the price isn't really different for round 1, round 2, that's what I'm saying. If the price isn't that much different, why fuck around?
No, you're right.
Yeah, exactly. So we move on.
Wait, but it is that much different.
How much?
Make all the stupid fucking faces you want.
How much different?
Plus 240 to plus 310.
Okay, but you're still in the plus 240 range. Are you just getting greedy at that stage?
You tell me. I don't think she's getting a KO, but I hear you.
I think plus 2. If we were at minus,
like if you think that Barbosa is going to be dominant enough on the ground that she should be minus 1,000 and that the sub should be like plus, what is it, close to plus 100, then she's probably going to be in positions where she can just TKO her. The price difference is in the props is pretty crazy.
Right, it's a 70-cent difference in price, and I'd rather have 3-1 than 2-1.
Yeah, I would be much more concerned if it was minus 130 versus plus 140 compared to plus 240 versus plus 310. I think that's at a certain point you're getting greedy.
I don't think this is that point, but I understand your point. I mean, if it's plus 1,600 and plus 1,800, yes, but not here.
We're in the solid plus money range. We got Reese Skeletor McKee at plus 130, the over 2.5 at minus 105. Daniel Fun Guy Frunza minus 155. His under 2.5 is a minus 125. McKee is going to have a 5-inch reach advantage. He's going to be 1 inch taller. He's going to be 2 years younger, and he has a UFC experience advantage. Purely off of those things, you'd start thinking about the McKee side, and then you see he's 0-4 in the UFC. Then you
I want to hear from Mike. I want to hear from Mike first. That's what I want. I don't want to hear from TV. I want to hear from Mike.
You're just salty about how we ended off on the last fight.
No,
let's hear from Mike.
We haven't given it to Mike first. Right? No, we haven't given it to Mike first yet.
Yeah. So it's an interesting fight. I've been thinking about a Reese McKee play. I kind of want to do it. I don't really know I know what's holding me back. He's really hittable. Frunza's going to try to put him on the back foot. But to me, they just have really similar styles. Both of them are very durable. Both of them have bad striking defense. Both of them like to put their opponents on the back foot. Both of them, when they're finishing guys, it's usually attritional. It's usually because of the pressure, because of the output. And Frunza's pretty hittable in his own right. And then Frunza, you also have some concerns with the ground game. Like in his Dana White's Contender Series fight, I did think that he reacted really well to the takedowns. He reacted really quickly. The hips were good. He started looking for the hands right away. But like you go back a little bit. Now, this is a decent while back. I don't remember exactly what year, but he got subbed by Boleto Jr. Gary's good. He's a good fighter on the regionals, might eventually make it to the UFC. But he got that choke with no hooks in at all. He didn't put the hooks in. He just got the choke and was able to get him out of there. And Riss isn't like an amazing grappler, but he can mix it into his game. So I kind of feel like he has a wrestling advantage here. I feel like he's going to be better at range. He's going to be the better distance striker. I think he's a cleaner striker overall. Frunza's just a little bit tougher. He just doesn't stop. So it's kind of hard to fade him in a spot like this. I've been going back and forth. It's dog or pass for me. I'll pick Frunza, I guess, but I would only bet on McKee in this fight.
Guru?
I want nothing to do with this fight. I mean, I think that they both smell really, really bad. Frunza, while he had an exciting fight on the regionals, where he looked kind of impressive with his cardio, I'm like very, very scared after watching his Dana White Contender Series fight again. I mean, he's getting taken down. He's getting dropped. Yeah, okay, the guy gasses out, but he also hadn't fought in a year and a half. Like, I just don't. I'd rather sit back, watch, and learn. You're looking at a guy in Reese McKee that, again, I think could be slightly undervalued in the fact that, yeah, he's 0-4 in his UFC run, and all his losses are to guys either in Hamzat Chimaev, who's unbelievable, Alex Morono, who 5 years ago is awkward and difficult to handle, especially as a young fighter. And then you're facing athletic freaks in Angelosa and Chidi and Jokawani. I don't think you're getting any of those things here in Daniel Frunza. I think he's in perfect position to pull a Dana White Contender Series debut stunt. I'm just not. There's nothing that's getting me on the Reese McKee side. I'd rather just kind of watch how the first round plays out, and maybe I get a solid live entry on somebody. But I just don't know how fun of a guy he's going to be if I lay the chalk at minus 155, because I'm not sure that he's going to get a finish. And then I do kind of like his cardio over McKee's, but McKee's a dog, so I don't know. Nothing I love. Cage Warrior fraud. I don't know. Lean. I wrote lean Frunza, and that's what I like. I like the fight to go the distance, but I have no idea what the price is.
Oh my god! All right, well, I'm sitting here waiting for you to finish. It's plus 130. Fight goes the distance. I'm playing.
Great, I'll take that.
Yeah, because neither guy is really that potent of a finisher. They rely on their guys gassing out and failing on takedowns, or just generally slowing down. Frunza fights in Colorado on an LFA card against a Factory X fighter that's actively trying to take him down. Ref separates them 2 different times in round 2 and round 3. I love the way he uses the whizzer to avoid giving up his back when he stands up. Well, the good news, Reese McKee's not going to take him down anyway, so it doesn't matter. Neither guy's really going to be good enough to land a takedown on the other. So it's going to be a distance striking battle. Reese McKee's got the reach advantage. He's also got the tall man's defense disadvantage. He does nothing to protect his chin. So I think it's probably Frunza by decision, but I'd rather play the fight goes at plus money.
I'm sorry to steal your thunder, I guess, as I finally cooked myself there.
Yeah, you finally got there after making.
But yeah, I really do like fight goes the distance in this fight. So
right,
I have that in my notes if you look.
Yeah, I texted you at about 5 o'clock today, and you liked it.
Well, I'd ignored you, so.
No, you didn't. You put a love on the message. So.
Because I liked it, yeah.
Exactly. So that's why I was so deep in your subconscious as you remembered my great ideas.
I'm going to get very deep in your something, and it's not your subconscious.
He wishes. But we had Robzilla earlier. Now it's Loma Godzilla, Luke Boonme, because she's a monster. Versus Estela Nunez, that star tattoo on her shoulder. Well, that's a perfect nickname for TB to capitalize on. Minus 700 on the Loma side, plus 500 on the Nunez side. I mean, let's be realistic about what's happening here. And if you understand, like, in your 4th fight, if you disgustingly fracture your arm inside the UFC octagon and you claim that you are not the same, the UFC is going to have to pay for your health care the rest of your life. Whereas, hey, you got cleared to come back and fight again. Your arm can't be that bad, Estela Nunez. Good luck getting health insurance in the future, buddy, because you just signed up to fight Loma Luke Boonme. So maybe she gets another couple fights here. But realistically, if you go 0-4 in a 4-fight UFC contract, there's no reason you're back unless they're trying to clear their ass on the medical end, because that arm break was one of the ugliest things we've seen. And you know she would have been cashing them insurance checks the rest of her life. Loma, she's probably going to find a way to avoid. I mean, this could be a close striking fight in round 1. And I definitely think this fight gets to round 2 because Nunez is not going to find a finish early. But Loma, she's going to start getting the wrestling going because she's going to realize, oh, wow, the striking could be close. She's going to wrestle. And now I'm going to steal Guru's thunder because it's round 2, round 3. And what could happen, Guru? What could happen?
It's funny because I quickly actually want to go back and give you that kind of credit there for the meta-analysis. Is that makes too much sense. I don't even have to ask if that's true. Like, it makes too much sense that the arm break is so bad that instead of giving her health insurance for life, like, how would you like one more fight so we can prove that your arm is cleared and we can't be medically liable for it?
You think this is a joke? Like,
no, it was really funny. And I'm like,
this. I work a lot with health insurance and rehab. So tell me I don't know what's going on. I think I know what's happening.
No, that's really funny because I'm like, holy shit, that's exactly what's happening. Loma Luke Boonme by sub is going to be very, very juicy and fun. I mean, let's see here. It probably happens. Oh, she's got sub 3 by Carlos. It could happen anytime. I'm just gonna take the sub. Sub is plus. Oh, baby, it's plus 420. Yeah, I'm good for a half unit on that.
Okay.
Just a little fun sprinkle. Although the under itself is probably just fun too. But yeah, that's it. Just a little Loma sub. Otherwise, this fight's gonna be very smelly. It'll be a very boring 15 minutes if she doesn't get the sub. What do you think there, Mike?
If you guys know me, you know I'm trying to find a way to play Nunes. This line can't be right. Like I guess it can. It can. Her cardio's bad, but
she's lost 4 times and been finished 3 of them.
I know. But like Loma doesn't normally really separate, and I understand.
No, she doesn't.
She submitted Elise Reed, but like
it's pretty
she
good.
submitted Elise Reed.
Yeah, but Elise Reed's pretty serviceable.
I don't know. I don't even know that. Like, I would possibly bet Nunes against Elise Reed, depending on the price. To be honest with you,
it'd probably be like plus 300. So I probably would.
I would do that. I hope they make that fight. But you know, you guys mentioned the arm break. That is like it's not her fault that it happened, but it's also kind of her fault that it happened because I grappled most of my life. I did judo, sambo, then I did wrestling in high school. The first thing you learn when you learn how to grapple is how to fall. And the number one rule of when you're falling is don't stick your arm out. And she stuck her arm out, and that's why it broke. Yep. So that's a concern that she did do that. I mean, Loma's improved her wrestling a lot. She will get takedowns as the fight progresses, probably. But she didn't really separate against Bruna Brazil, and I don't see Nunes and Brazil as too different. Very similar styles. I like Nunes' striking. I think she's a good striker. I think at range early, she's going to be better than Loma. I think she's going to hit harder than Loma. I think she's going to look good early. I really do, and I think she's probably going to win the first round. But then Loma can probably start to clinch her up, just mix in some, takedowns, rip the legs like she likes to do, and she can probably slow her down. She'll probably win. I just feel like this fight's going to play out closer than the line says, so it might be the first time this year that I play a spread. I haven't done it yet this year. I've been trying to be really selective with spreads. I might do it because I've seen some decent plus numbers. I saw like plus 195 on Bet Online. I'll see what DraftKings gives me because I could see a Loma finish late. I just don't think it's the highest likelihood. And I think Nunes wins the first round at a decent clip. So I kind of do want to take the spread. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to pass. Maybe Loma round 3 sub, but like,
I can dig it. I like the round 2, round 3 sub idea then. I'd love to shave off a round.
Yeah, I don't think it happens early unless there's like a freak accident again. But I think like what happens in round 1 where Nunes kind of shows like, hey, she's actually not the worst striker from distance. She's kind of fast. If you're not knocking her out on the feet, which I don't think Loma does, I think it's that her wrestling under the Hickman brothers has just improved by leaps and bounds.
So round 2, round 3 submission for Loma, just by shaving off 1 round, we go from 420 to 850.
Yeah, I think that if you're going to dig into grandma's couch, that's where I'd want to put my money.
Oh, I'm digging.
La Mangosta, Victor Henry, minus 218 versus Pedro Falcao, plus 180. We've got
the Mongoose versus the Pedro.
That's it. The little Pedro.
The little Pedro. That's fine.
Yeah, it's going to be, very similar, very similar from a height and reach perspective. Henry's going to have a 1-inch advantage in height. And then off of that, we're going to see, a 2-inch reach advantage, but I think he kind of gives it all back by being 5 years older and a lot more shop worn. I don't expect typically you need 3 to 4 inches reach advantage before it starts making a statistically significant impact on the fight. So no real tail of the tape impact for either of these guys. But what stands out to me is Henry's pace on the feet is completely unmatched, and that's typically what'll guide him to victory. Whereas Pedro Falcao, his pace, wrestling, grappling, and his cardio, high level. This guy is like a dog on a bone. His striking, I think we've seen some little improvements here and there, but not enough to be able to deal with a guy like Victor Hugo, who's explosive, can strike at all 3 levels, can counter off the back foot. Like Henry, I think while he has more volume, there's a lot less danger and a lot less unpredictability in his striking style. And I think his aggressiveness is going to leave his hips wide open in the small cage to a guy that we've seen can throw over 10 takedown attempts per fight. And even if he's not successful, he's got you thinking about it. And I really think that his pace in the wrestling department, even if it doesn't come with a finish, I mean, Henry, we've seen the likes of the very old and weathered one Asun Sao have, I said like one, it sounded like Juan because of how congested I am. But yeah, Rafael Asun Sao. But yeah, it's like you can see people that go with a heavy wrestling game plan and approach. They can have some success because it really slows down the combinations. It slows down the output of Henry, and he's got good cardio, but I don't think he's necessarily got better cardio than Falcao. And the things that make me sketched out is like when they weren't just signing every single winner from Contender Series, and you watch Fat Dana White like, oh, yeah, I don't know. Pedro just didn't impress me enough, blah, blah, blah. And I get it. He was a 7-1 favorite. It took him too long to find the finish. But if he fought on last year's season of Contenders, he signed immediately. But he takes a 2-year hiatus. So you ask yourself, like, damn, like, yeah, he's taking a boxing match. He's taking a grappling match. But I don't know. When push comes to shove, what's it going to look like? Well, I think he's going to keep on shooting takedowns. So I'm willing to take a chance here on the plus money. Guru?
He took a 2-year hiatus between his – he took a 3-year nearly 3-year hiatus between Dana White Contender Series and making it to the UFC. Took a 2-year layoff between that and the Tough Enough fight, but he did have the boxing fight, like you mentioned, versus former UFC fighter Anderson Dos Santos. Yep. Honestly, I really did like what I saw in the Victor Hugo fight. Solid pace, a willingness to go for the grappling. He's a 3rd-degree black belt. And in a fight that I expect to be fairly even on the feet, I know Victor Henry is a one-dimensional old striker. So why not take plus money on a guy that I expect to be able to mix it up and shit, even maybe pull off a win, like finish type of win. Could be really interesting. I mean, right? Just watch Charles Jourdain submit him. And obviously, you know, Charles Jourdain is is quite slick. But again, 3rd-degree black belt, I could see this guy pulling something crazy off here. So I'll just take the money line. I don't need to get crazy with it, but I'm definitely eyeing that sub quite closely. Are we on the right side here? Couch Warrior?
Yeah, I think if you're going to bet the fight, Falcao is probably the side. I can't really get behind Henry at chalk here just because I do think he's going to start to slow down a little bit, and I could see him struggling here. I could see Falcao getting the upset. I don't really think he's going to sub Henry. I think, you know, Jourdain is really good with the front chokes. Falcao, you know, it's not really, I don't know. His submission grappling is really good. I mean, pure jiu-jitsu is better than Jourdain. I'm not really seeing a sub here personally. I don't really think Henry's going to be offensively grappling here. I think that's kind of the difference too. Like he was going to wrestle against Jourdain. That made sense. Jourdain can be taken down and he's a good striker. So try to wrestle him. I don't think he's going to try to take Falcao down. I think it's going to be closer to a game plan of like what he did for Ronnie Yaya. Use the takedown defense because he does have very good takedown defense. Use the scrambling, get back up on your feet. He is the better striker, much better at range. Output's going to be better. I think Henry should win the fight. I'm just personally staying away just because he is getting up there in age, and Falcao will fight for your money. He's always going to be moving forward, trying to get those takedowns. So I could see him getting an upset, so I'm staying away.
That's smart. It's clear dog or pass in my mind. And it's okay to pass. You are allowed to do so.
I'm doing a lot of passing this week.
And that's all right. That's all right. Honestly, we'll be better off doing that more often, quite frankly.
That's what we need to work on at the very least.
All right. So what they did say is that this fight, Uran Sadi Baldiev, the gorilla versus Martin Body Spudai, this would be the second fight is what was announced. So, yeah, ultimately, I mean, no Nate tail to tape happened way too close to the show. But I can tell you that Uran is going to have a 3-inch reach advantage and they're the same height. But, I mean, Martin's got a barrel-chested big titty advantage. So if this fight happens in the clinch, could look good there. And if this fight happens from distance, the wild striking and the volume of Uran, And maybe if this fight ends up on the mat, on the ground, the wrestling and grappling of Iran and the striking, I don't even know what the line is. I lean towards the debutant, but in that case, I expect him probably to be a big favorite. One, because his name ends in an EV and, he's coming in. But then the short notice aspect, him moving up to heavyweight from light heavyweight on this short notice, it's like, by God, do we really need to do anything here? I don't know. Mike, did you get a read on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I was able to tape Uran. I was kind of familiar with him because of LFA, but I didn't remember him well. I had to go back and look. I mean, for me, it doesn't take a lot to get me to fade Budai. I'm really low on him. I bet heavily against him with Breshki, got robbed blind there, and that's probably why I hate him so much. It's not even his fault. He's not the judge, but I just don't like his game. I don't like Budai's game at all. Like, he's a clinch merchant. He's a clinch merchant. That's what he's strong at. That's his strength. When he's bigger and just heavier than guys, he can hold them up against the fence and just do some decent work there, and that's really it. He's not good at range. His output's not good. He's hittable. His striking's fine, but it's nothing special. And people talk about like his offensive grappling. I don't see it. I know he's done it a little bit in the regionals, but he hasn't recently, and even in the regionals, he wasn't doing it all that much, and I just don't rate his offensive grappling that much. So to me, he's just a clinch merchant, and it worked against guys like Chris Barnett and guys like Jared Cannonier, Jake Collier. Very
That's
different
good.
people.
But they're both like anorexic though, jumping up and down weight classes like crazy people.
Yeah, I mean, Jake Collier's just at the wrong weight class, and he was able to do it to him. Couldn't really do it to Arlovsky. Couldn't really hold him up against the fence because Arlovsky's big, and he's not a Chris Barnett, and he's not a Jake Collier.
Hear me out, though. Can he do it to this guy here? Because I do like Uran at light heavyweight. This is going to be at heavyweight, and he's going to have to fight all 266 pounds of fucking Martin Budai, who's then going to go eat a cheeseburger and come in at 280. I just don't. And what I saw on the tape is that I feel that the dude can be clinched. And that's like one of the things I saw, that he can be controlled in the clinch. And he doesn't have the greatest striking defense. And this is the worst part, is that the war he went to with Leon Soros, which was a great fight, where he gets the round 3 Kimura, that was last month, 30 days ago. So he was not prepared for this.
Fair enough.
What's the line going to be? I
mean, the line has been out, and it's been going back and forth all day.
What is it?
Let me tell you, my bet online's loading. But look, I get it. Yeah, he might be. He's going to be lighter. He's not a heavyweight, but he's also big. He's 6'4", and I need to see the face-offs. I need to see how he weighs in.
He's fought at middleweight though. Martin Budai would literally kill himself if he fought at middleweight.
Yeah, but that means he's going to be faster. And honestly, I think he hits harder than Budai despite the weight class.
True. I agree with both of those things, Mike.
This guy.
What'd you say?
I don't think Martin's going to actually be able to really do anything to this guy. It's really just like
he's going to lay on him for 15 minutes.
He always hopes that it's a low output affair, and when you push the pace on him, he doesn't like it.
I agree with both of those things.
I could see Budai clinching him and him getting tired, trying to take Budai down, and he's a little bit of a sloppy striker, so I could see him gassing. But I think he's going to beat Budai, honestly. I think he can knock him out. I think he can grapple him.
If this guy goes up a weight class, short notice, and knocks out a guy 50 pounds heavier than him, welcome. And I was just saying to TB, like, I actually think he's really good for light heavyweight, especially since the light heavyweight division is so terrible. Like,
he's minus 140 right now, by the way.
Like, yeah, I love Budai as a dog there. That makes no sense. So I think that, but I think he comes in, and I think he could come in and beat like Johnny Walker right now. Like, I think he's good, but I think Budai is going to be able to hold him. I think it's going to be really boring and terrible.
Yeah, I don't think so. Quite frankly, I think Budai's a way worse athlete, and I think that Uran's grappling that we saw, I think his striking is way sloppier than his grappling, but he has the reach advantage, and Budai's going to be way slower than this Bonfim brother guy that he was fighting on his speed. When you go from light heavyweight to heavyweight, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's just a matter of like what shape your body actually is.
Just
It
ask
doesn't
John
actually
Jones.
change the height and reach, brother. So the fact of the matter is he's saving the day, but there's nothing about Martin that's actually dangerous. You're truly asking him to get 10 minutes of clinch control. He's not going to win the volume striking battle from distance, and he's not going to probably be the better wrestler. You really, I don't know. I hate it.
To all your points, I can get a better line in round after the first few minutes of round one.
I think Uran's going to have the better pace, even on short notice.
I mean,
he doesn't have to cut. He doesn't have to cut.
Dude, he just was in a fight 3 weeks ago. A barn burner with a guy that's not good.
Budai is not going to push a pace. His path to victory is titties on your chest. That's it.
And I think that's very plausible at plus money.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. Nope, you can't make me do it. We've got Lil Monster, Vanessa Demopoulos at -108, and Talita, the problem child Alencar at -112. I do have a logistical question. Yes, okay, Daz. Yeah, he did win. That was an absolute slaughter, boy. Killed him.
Oh my god, he killed him.
Yeah, he killed him.
Why didn't we bet? Was Thaddeus in our parlay?
No, he wasn't. I was just a little scared based off the names. What? He wasn't in the parlay.
I wish I didn't remember he was fighting. I would have put him in there.
Yeah, so then Lil Monster here, she's a little monster, but the problem child, why is she the problem child when Vanessa Demopoulos is probably a bit more of the problem child? Like, technically. Like she was the stripper. She's a bit more of a problem child than Talita.
I don't think she no longer does that and gives her life to the Lord, Jesus Christ. Whereas Talita is the one with the OnlyFans.
Damn. So maybe she has assumed the problem child title. And with the OnlyFans, oh boy, I don't love it. Vanessa Demopoulos, she's going to be clearly the more high volume striker. Neither of these fighters have really good defense. Neither of them have technical striking. But Vanessa's a dog, and she's gonna let the Lil Robber. She's gonna let the volume go on the feet. Whereas Alencar, she doesn't really look like she wants to engage in an actual fist fight. Whereas Demopoulos, I know she's okay with that. Also, I know Demopoulos can push a pace without gassing. Alencar, that's not the case. We've seen her slow down in the Amanda fight, and we've seen her slow down in both fights against Luciano. Also, Demopoulos has way more UFC experience, and she's only 2 years older. And I think, honestly, she looks like she's putting in the way better work in camp and looks like she's transformed her body over these past few years. Whereas, like, Alencar, she's already been, like, an athlete and a competitor on the jiu-jitsu scene. And I'm not really loving these pure jiu-jitsu competitors coming over. The biggest difference here between the last fight where Demopoulos gets subbed in round 1 versus Amarim, it's a 10-inch reach advantage. And it's also a glove grab issue. So you add those two things together. Alencar, I don't think she has quite the grappling ability that Amarim does. And also, she doesn't have quite the same level of athleticism and just freak anthropomorphics like Amarim did. So I don't think Alencar really has submission upside here. I don't think she has finishing upside. And if that's the case and we're going to the distance, then I don't need to touch this fight because I do think Demopoulos technically might be the worst grappler and the worst wrestler, but I'm not trying to find out. Not here in the Apex again in Las Vegas, where she's now slowly creeping to the underdog, but then the money comes back, but then the Alencar money comes back, but then the Vanessa money comes back. And then you have 3 judges, which God knows how many of them have gotten lap dances from Vanessa or one of her friends that don't want their wives or significant others to find out. And 2 out of the 3 of them hand over the scorecards, and we're looking at a split decision come Saturday night, and I don't care to be on either side of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tale as old as time. I got CLV on here. I've got plus 110 on Talita Alencar. And I don't know. I feel like her upside is a little higher, but at the same time, maybe her downside is even a bit lower with the cardio things that TV's pointing out. I don't love it. And same idea. I know Couch Warrior is going to laugh. I have 3 units on this, which I absolutely do not want at all. So I have 3 units sitting there. I can cash out each individually or cash them all out. I can do whatever the fuck I want. But I got to figure out what I'm doing. But I lean to Alencar. But I guess to TV's point, if you rob me once, shame on you. Rob me twice, shame on me. Rob me 3 times. I mean, what are we doing? So Mike, what can you tell us what we're doing? What are we doing?
If I'm being real, I think the best thing is to do nothing.
Thank you.
I feel like this fight's gonna be it's a mess. I mean, yeah, like Liam's saying, Alenkar's not out striking anybody. I mean, I don't rate Vanessa's striking, but she's gonna throw more. She seems to have some more pop to her punches. Good kicks,
hang
mixes it
on
up.
though. But when he says she's outlanded 0 of 3 of opponents, one of them is the same person twice. So
That's fair. And I mean, I don't put a ton into those stats when you have somebody who's only got a couple fights, but regardless, like I just think that Vanessa's gonna throw a lot more. She'll probably land more. Alenkar can do decent work on the feet too. She's not going to be completely out of it, but Vanessa's got bad takedown defense. Vanessa's happy to go to the ground because she's got good jiu-jitsu of her own. Alenkar, not the best wrestler, but I think she can get the takedowns. I think she's got the jiu-jitsu to maybe not get subs, but at least to control, get into dominant positions, win the minutes, land some ground and pound. I lean towards the Alenkar side. I just think she's overall a little bit better, but I don't want to put money against Demopoulos at Pick'em when she gets all these close splits over and over and over again. And I could see her, really winning on the feet, but I think Alenkar should win. And I did think about a play. If it went back to plus money, like plus 125, I would do it. But at Pick'em, it's just a stay away from me.
All right. Well, we've got some decisions to make. But what you guys should be doing, you shouldn't even have to choose. You should be throwing a like on the video. You should be subscribing to Chronic Combat. We're out here bringing you the best bets, the best guests, always free picks. And, oh boy, what just happened on my monitor? That was weird. But yeah, we're having
all that porn.
Yeah, I had too many windows open of Toledo Alencar OnlyFans. But yeah, so now that we're back, I just want to say, as always, I mean, I'm out here. We're on the struggle bus, but I couldn't not show up for you guys. So TB will be hitting the showers, doing some things to take care of all this nonsense.
The showers.
Yeah, but thank you so much, guys. I really do look forward to this every week, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. Mike, before we give it to the guru, what do you got to say for the people?
First off, thanks for having me on, guys. It was a lot of fun. You guys got one dynamic, I'll tell you, and you stuck me right in the middle.
Yes,
and just yelling at each other the entire time. It's too good, and you should always make sure that your guests are in the middle, and you should look at each other. Like TB, yeah. You should look up and down, and you guys are yelling at each other.
I'm always looking down on TV.
But it was a lot of fun. Definitely one of the funnest shows in the game. If you guys aren't subscribed to this damn channel, do it. They should be at 1,000. That's kind of ridiculous. And you should subscribe to me too if you haven't already. That would be nice. Couch Warrior Podcast on YouTube, Couch Warrior Pod on Twitter. All my bets, my breakdowns, my notes, those are behind a paywall. You can get the link in all the descriptions of my videos or in my bios, or you can DM me and I'll give it to you. Promo code Couch Warrior Pod gets you 20% off. And yeah, if you want to hear more of me breaking down the same exact fights, I did do a breakdown on Tuesday, so you can check that out. Or if you want to just watch the shorts, I haven't put them out yet. I'll be putting them out tomorrow, but I do a 1-minute breakdown or less for every single fight on every single card. So those will be out tomorrow, and you can look out for those. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and thanks for having me, guys.
Hell yeah.
Mike, seriously, thanks so much for your time, man. We appreciate your friendship. We appreciate your expertise as a MMA betting analyst, and just really appreciate you hanging out with us and putting up with our fighting. That honestly is, I do feel like the fun part of our show. That is why we are not just Chronic Combat, but Chronic Combat Conversations. It's the conversation. We want to talk about the fights. We want to make people laugh.
We don't bring on guests. We bring on mediators for our relationship.
Exactly. Exactly. Very, very well said. Guys, if you're not following my unbelievable co-host, make sure you go do that. Go follow him over on Twitter, Instagram, Pickett, Tapology, and Bet MMA. And you can follow me, the Guru Scouting MMA, over on Twitter, Verdict, Pickett, Instagram, Tapology, and Bet MMA. Guys, one more week. Just one more, and then we finally are on break. But we get set up to be card of the freaking year with UFC 314 in Miami. I cannot wait. Be there or be square. We got the one and only Andrew Gombis joining us. Can't wait to hear the nicknames, and I'm sure we'll talk about the Magic drama a bit. So be safe out there, and let's make some money. TB is gonna play the music at some point.